I always thought the worst kind of betrayal would come with screaming, maybe something thrown across a room. I never imagined it would be so quiet, the kind of silence where even the air feels like it stepped out to give you privacy. They say the best surprises come from the heart. So when my wife Danielle told me she'd be spending the week at a leadership summit in Chicago, I started planning something for mine. We'd been married 11 years. 2 kids. Mortgage in the suburbs. Soccer practices, grocery lists on the fridge. The usual American life. But I still believed in little gestures, in love being shown, not just said. So I took a few days off work, pulled the kids from school with the excuse of a dad-led adventure, and booked flights to Chicago. My idea was simple: show up at her hotel, surprise her with the kids, maybe grab dinner together, make a memory the kids would tell their own children about one day. She didn't know we were coming. On the plane, my daughter Claire, 9 years old and quick to notice everything, asked, "Do you think Mom will cry when she sees us?" I smiled. "If she does, it'll be the happy kind." My son Ethan, 12, nodded confidently. "I bet she'll scream. Like she always does on birthdays." I had no idea how wrong I was. We landed just past 3 p.m., caught a cab to the downtown Marriott, and checked into a room 2 floors below hers. I had her itinerary from a PDF she'd emailed me. Room 1817. She mentioned it offhand the night before she left, said it was nice, even had a view. That room number burned into my brain. After settling in and ordering some chicken tenders for the kids, I told them we were going to surprise Mom at her room, just a quick knock, some laughs, a few hugs. Claire wanted to bring the little clay figurine she made for her in art class. I tucked it carefully into my jacket pocket. We rode the elevator up, my heart thumping with anticipation. The kids were jittery from travel and excitement. I remember Ethan whispering, "Let's all shout, surprise," when she opens the door. I knocked. 3 times. Light but clear. No answer. I knocked again, firmer. Then I heard something. Muffled movement. A laugh. A man's laugh. I froze. Claire looked up at me. "Is that Mom?" I nodded slowly, not sure if it was a lie. Another sound followed, a soft thud, then more laughter. Not the corporate kind. Not even the harmless, tired chuckle she gave me after long work days. This one was different. Instincts are strange things. They don't wait for proof. They just know. I took the kids back to our floor under the excuse of the timing being off. "Maybe she was in a Zoom meeting," I said. They bought it. Kids believe what you tell them when they want to. But I couldn't let it go. After making sure they were distracted by cartoons and French fries, I walked down to the lobby and spoke to the front desk. I told them I left something in my wife's room. I dropped her name and gave a knowing smile like I belonged there. They handed me a keycard without question. I thanked them and walked slowly back to the elevator. Every step to that door felt like it took an hour. I opened it without knocking. She didn't see me right away. Her back was to the door, her laugh mid-flight. There was a man sitting on the couch, shirtless, barefoot, holding a glass of wine that wasn't hers. My wife turned, and the look on her face, that's what I'll remember forever. Not the betrayal, not the wine glass, not even the way she instinctively stepped away from him. It was the panic. The wide-eyed, frozen look of a woman who'd just been struck by lightning inside a room where it wasn't even raining. "Michael," she whispered, like saying my name made it better. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I just stepped forward, closed the door behind me, and said the only thing I could think of. "You left the kids with me so you could do this?" Her lover, mid-30s, gym fit, hair gelled like he thought it made him interesting, stood slowly like he might have to defend himself. I didn't even look at him. He wasn't the story here. He was just a footnote. Danielle tried to speak, stammering some excuse, something about it being a mistake, an accident, confusing timing. I raised one hand, not to hit, but to stop the noise. "I brought the kids," I said, calmly. "They wanted to surprise you. They're downstairs right now, watching Finding Nemo. Claire made you something in class. It's in my jacket pocket." She gasped and covered her mouth. For a second, I thought she'd collapse. I stepped back toward the door. "You've got 5 minutes to get dressed and come see them, and I swear to God, Danielle, if you bring him anywhere near them, you'll never see them again." I left the room before she could answer. There's something surreal about riding an elevator down from the highest emotional point of your life. You feel like gravity should be heavier somehow. I stood there, alone, while floor numbers blinked above me like a countdown to whatever came next. Back on our floor, I paused just outside the door. I needed a second to breathe. My hands were steady, I noted that, which surprised me. I'd always imagined discovering something like this would unravel me. But maybe when you have 2 children waiting behind a hotel room door, reality hits different. I walked in and smiled like I was just coming back from grabbing ice. "You were gone forever," Ethan said without looking up, too deep into whatever animated madness was on screen. Claire was watching me. "You okay, Daddy?" she asked, her voice that soft tone kids use when they know something's off, even if they don't have the words for it. "Yeah," I nodded, bending down to tuck a stray hair behind her ear. "I just wanted to make sure we didn't ruin the surprise. She's coming down in a few minutes." That seemed to satisfy her. But inside, I felt like I'd just stolen innocence from my own daughter, even if she didn't know it yet. I sat with them on the edge of the bed, legs bouncing out of habit. 5 minutes. That's what I gave Danielle. A lifetime condensed into a grace period. 7 minutes passed. Then 8. I stood up and texted her. "They're asking." No response. Of course. I made a decision right then that I would not let my children walk into a memory that would scar them. I didn't care if she came down with tears, excuses, or a dozen roses. If she couldn't get here on her own with a clean conscience, I wasn't going to drag them into the mess. "Hey," I said casually, "change of plans. Let's grab dinner downstairs. Room service takes forever." Claire pouted a little. "But we didn't surprise Mommy." "Don't worry," I said, forcing a smile, "we'll have plenty of time to surprise her later." Ethan was already slipping on his hoodie. "Do they have pizza?" "Buddy," I said, grabbing the keycard. "They have everything." We headed down to the restaurant in the lobby. I kept checking the entrance. No sign of her. That told me all I needed. A woman doesn't need more than 10 minutes to decide if she's going to show up for her own children. She made her choice. And now I had to make mine. After dinner, where we laughed about the weird shape of hotel fries and played a guessing game about the waiter's accent, I told the kids we were going home early. "But I thought we were staying 2 nights, Claire said between spoonfuls of chocolate mousse. "Something came up," I said, keeping my voice even. "Mom's gonna be really busy the next couple days, so we'll see her at home, okay?" Ethan squinted. "Is she okay?" "She's fine," I said, nodding. "Just work stuff. You know your mom." Claire looked disappointed, but she didn't cry. I think she was more hurt about the missed surprise than anything else. After we packed up, I left a single envelope with the front desk. No return address, just her name. Inside was the figurine Claire made. And a note in my handwriting that simply said, "You had one job." He was never supposed to be in the picture. The flight home was quiet. Kids dozed off half the time. I stared out the window, the Chicago skyline disappearing beneath the clouds. In that moment, I didn't feel like a husband anymore. But I sure as hell still felt like a father. And that was enough to start over with. The morning after we got home, the house felt different. Maybe it was the quiet. Or maybe it was the weight, like someone had dialed up the gravity just enough to make everything slightly harder. The kids were back in routine, thanks to autopilot. Pancakes for Claire. A protein bar for Ethan because, at 12, everything takes too long. They were fine. Or at least they thought they were. And that was the plan, to keep their world spinning even if mine had cracked open. After I dropped them off at school, I sat in the driveway for 10 minutes. Just sat there. Engine humming. Radio off. That's when my phone rang. Her name lit up the screen. Danielle. Of course. I stared at it until the call went to voicemail. Then it rang again. This time, I answered. Hey. Her voice was soft. A little hoarse. Maybe from crying. Maybe from guilt. Who knows? I didn't respond. Michael, I didn't know what to say last night. I wanted to come down, I really did. But you didn't, I said calmly. She was quiet. I was embarrassed, she finally admitted. I didn't know how to face them. They're your kids, Danielle, I said. Not mine alone. Yours too. I know, she whispered. I just panicked. I exhaled slowly, staring at the steering wheel like it was a chessboard. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to scream or call you names. That's not what this is. Then what is it? She asked. It's me, I said, starting over. With or without you. Another silence. Longer this time. What are you saying? She asked, voice shaking. I'm saying you made your choice in that hotel room, I replied. And now I'm making mine. Her voice cracked. Michael, please. Can we at least talk? In person? I don't think that's a good idea. So what now? She asked, quieter now. You're taking the kids away from me. No, I said. Not yet. That yet hung in the air like a thundercloud. I hung up before she could ask more. That afternoon, I made another call, this one to someone my friend Luke recommended. Family lawyer. Clean reputation. No games. Her name was Hannah Bishop, and when I sat across from her the next day, she didn't waste time with small talk. I want to know my rights, I said. As a father. As a man who's just been betrayed in a way that makes the walls of his house feel like strangers. She nodded, pen already moving across her legal pad. I'm not interested in punishing her, I continued. But I am interested in protecting my kids. Hannah looked up. Did your wife cheat on you? Yes. Do you have evidence? Only the truth and a quiet door, I said. But I can get more, if that's what it takes. She paused, then asked, are you planning to file for full custody? Not today, I said. But I want the groundwork laid. If she keeps putting herself first, I need to be ready. Understood. She walked me through the basics, how family courts weigh stability, consistency, and a child's emotional well-being over everything else. Infidelity, she explained, doesn't always tip the scale. But abandonment? Emotional negligence? Repeated absences? Those carry weight. And the kind of weight I could start documenting. That night, after the kids went to bed, Danielle called again. I let it go to voicemail. She left a message. Michael. I can't sleep. I keep thinking about how you looked in that room. Like you'd just been shot but didn't know where the blood was coming from. I didn't mean for it to get this far. I didn't mean to break anything. I deleted the message. Not out of anger. Out of purpose. She was still thinking in terms of meaning. But this wasn't about what she meant. This was about what she did. Truth is one thing. Proving it, that's another. Danielle hadn't come home since Chicago. A few scattered texts asking about the kids. I replied with the facts. Yes, Claire had her test. Yes, Ethan made the team. No extra words. No emotion. That week, I started documenting everything. Missed calls. Missed pickups. Times, dates, patterns. I wasn't planning to weaponize it, but I wasn't going to be caught unprepared. Claire noticed first. "Why hasn't Mom called me?" she asked one night. "She's busy with work," I lied. She nodded, but her eyes dimmed. I logged it in a notebook that was quickly filling up. I met with the school counselor, Mrs. Rollins. Told her our family situation was changing. "I don't want the kids thinking this is their fault," I said. She nodded. "It's good you're getting ahead of this. And yes, anything we observe is documented." That was all I needed to know. A record. A witness. Quiet support if things went to court. Thursday evening, Danielle showed up at the house. No call. I opened the door. She looked tired. Eyes red. Makeup gone. "Michael," she began. "The kids are upstairs. We talk first," I said, stepping outside. "I know I hurt you," she said. "I made a mistake. But I want to fix this." "You weren't just unfaithful," I said. "You left your daughter outside a hotel room while you were inside with someone else." She broke. "I'm sorry. I didn't plan this. I want to do better, for them. Maybe for us. This isn't about us anymore," I said. "It's about them. No more missed calls. No more ghosting. If you want to be their mother, prove it." She nodded through tears. I let her in. Claire ran to her. Ethan hung back. Danielle hugged them like she hadn't seen them in years. Later, when they were asleep, she asked, "Can I stay tonight?" "No," I said. "You can visit. You can parent. But you can't live here." She didn't argue. Just picked up her bag, kissed them one more time, and walked into the night. As I watched her drive away, I realized. Forgiveness can wait. But protecting my kids? That had already started. Danielle called the next morning. I let it ring out. She texted 5 minutes later. "Can we please talk before lawyers get involved?" Too late. That afternoon, I signed the papers. Hannah Bishop, calm, sharp, and clinical, slid the folder across her desk. "This is a petition for temporary custody. It doesn't mean sole custody yet, but it sets a tone. You've already documented a lot. That matters." I nodded. "What happens after she gets served?" "She'll lawyer up. There may be pushback. But if she wants to fight, we'll be ready." That's all I needed. Readiness. Not revenge. Not drama. Just structure. We filed the papers that day. 3 days later, Danielle showed up unannounced again. This time, she was dressed like she came straight from some mediation podcast: jeans, soft cardigan, no makeup. A new kind of mask. "I got served," she said, holding the envelope like it was poison. "I figured," I replied from the doorway. "You really think I'm a bad mother?" "No. I think you were a reckless one," I said. "And the court's going to ask the same questions I did. Where were you? What were you doing? Why didn't you call your daughter back when she cried herself to sleep?" She looked away. "I made mistakes. But taking me to court, Michael, come on. We're better than this." "No," I said. "We were. But now there's a line. You stepped over it. And I'm drawing it in ink." Her voice rose. "You're trying to paint me as unstable. That's not fair." "Then prove otherwise," I said evenly. "Start showing up. On time. Sober. Engaged. Be the parent they think you are." She folded her arms. I want shared custody. You'll get it, I said, when you earn it. Her jaw tightened. You're not perfect either. Never claimed to be. Silence stretched. She blinked fast, then turned to leave. Tell them I love them, she said over her shoulder. They know, I said. But hearing it from you would be better. That night, Claire asked if Mommy was coming for her piano recital. She said she would, I told her. And if she doesn't, I'll be there. Promise? Always. Claire smiled and turned back to her little keyboard. I checked in with Hannah the next day. She'd received an email from Danielle's new attorney, no real firepower, just some boilerplate language about parental rights and ongoing negotiation. They're not pushing too hard, Hannah said. Yet. They will, I replied. But I'm not folding. You don't have to. Not with your record. I hung up the phone and stared at the ceiling for a long moment. I hadn't cried since Chicago. But for the first time in weeks, I felt something different. Control. Not over her. Over the chaos. And maybe, finally, over my future. Claire's piano recital was Thursday at 6 p.m. She'd practiced for weeks. Same song, over and over, hands fumbling, heart steady. I picked 3 seats, one for me, one for Ethan, one for Danielle. I texted her that morning. Claire's recital is at 6. She hopes you'll be there. No reply. By 5:45, the auditorium buzzed with parents and soft rustling. Ethan leaned over. You think Mom's coming? I don't know, I said. But I did. Claire peeked from backstage at 5:58. She waved at me. Then her eyes flicked to the empty seat. Her smile dropped. She was third to play. Small hands, big nerves. She sat, looked at the keys, then at the chair again. Still empty. She blinked. Swallowed. Played. She missed a note. Paused. Kept going. Finished strong. When she bowed, she looked at me, not proud, not upset, just searching. Backstage, she ran up and hugged me. You saw me, right? Every second, I said. You were amazing. She started to say something about her mom. Then stopped. That night, I sent Danielle a message. She looked for you. You weren't there. No response. The next morning, Claire didn't eat much. Sat quiet, chin in her hand. Do you think Mom forgot? She asked. I couldn't lie. No. She didn't forget. Then why didn't she come? I hesitated. Sometimes adults break promises. But that's not your fault. She nodded. Quietly got her backpack. Later, I called Hannah. She missed the recital, I said. Add it to the file, she replied. It matters. That weekend, Danielle texted. I froze. I didn't know how to face her. Tell her I'm proud. I showed Claire the message. She read it. Handed the phone back. She should have told me that herself, she said, and went back to coloring. I realized then. The seat Danielle left empty wasn't just a chair. It was a place in their lives she'd chosen not to keep. And someone else might fill it, even if that someone was just me, doing double duty. The custody hearing was quiet. No courtroom drama. No shouting across tables. Just paperwork, statements, and tired eyes. Danielle looked worn, the kind of tired that no amount of sleep fixes. Her lawyer did most of the talking. Mine didn't have to say much. The judge reviewed the file. The journal entries. The missed visits. The empty seat. Temporary full custody granted to Mr. Caldwell, the judge said. Visitation will be reviewed in 60 days. Danielle didn't cry. She just sat there, eyes on the floor, nodding like she already knew what the outcome would be. Outside the courthouse, she caught up to me. "Is this really how it ends?" she asked. I looked at her. Really looked. Not as my wife. Not even as the woman who hurt me. Just as someone I used to know. "I don't think it's ended," I said. "It's just changed. For good." She nodded slowly. "I don't blame you. I just wish I could go back." "I used to wish that too," I said. "Now I just want to move forward." She looked down at her hands. No ring. She'd stopped wearing it a few weeks ago. So had I. "Tell them I love them," she said quietly. "Tell them yourself," I replied. "You still have time. You just have to use it better than you did before." She gave a small, sad smile. "You're a good father." "I never had a choice," I said. "They needed someone who didn't walk out." She blinked fast and walked away. I didn't watch her go. Back home, I opened the door. Claire and Ethan ran to me. I didn't tell them everything. Just enough. "Things are gonna stay the same," I said. "You'll live here. I'll be here. Mom will visit when she's able." "Will she come more now?" Claire asked. "I hope so," I said honestly. "But if she doesn't, that's not your fault." They nodded. Quiet. Processing. Then Claire asked, "Are we okay?" "Yeah," I said, pulling them close. "We're more than okay. We're steady." Later that night, I stood alone in the hallway. The house was quiet. Not empty, just still. And for the first time since Chicago, I realized something. I wasn't angry anymore. Not at her. Not even at myself. I had been betrayed, yes. But I had also endured. And what was left standing, was me.